Windows 7, a major release of the Microsoft Windows, is available in 6 different editions: Starter, Home Basic, Home Premium, Professional, Enterprise and Ultimate. Only Home Premium, Professional, and Ultimate are widely available at retailers. The other editions focus on other markets, such as the developing world or enterprise use. All editions support 32-bit IA32 CPUs and all editions except Starter support 64-bit x64 CPUs. 64-bit installation media is not included in Home Basic Edition packages, but can be obtained separately from Microsoft. According to Microsoft, the features for all editions of Windows 7 are stored on the machine, regardless of which edition is in use. Users who wish to upgrade to an edition of Windows 7 with more features can then use Windows Anytime Upgrade to purchase the upgrade and to unlock the features of those editions. Microsoft announced Windows 7 pricing information for some editions on June 25, 2009, and Windows Anytime Upgrade and Family Pack pricing on July 31, 2009. Main editions: Windows 7 Starter. Windows 7 Starter is the edition of Windows 7 that contains the fewest features. It is only available in a 32-bit version and does not include the Windows Aero theme. The desktop wallpaper and visual styles are not user-changeable. Microsoft originally intended to restrict users of this edition to running 3 simultaneous applications, but this limitation was dropped. This edition is available pre-installed on computers, especially netbooks, through system integrators or computer manufacturers using OEM licenses. Windows 7 Home Basic. Windows 7 Home Basic is available in emerging markets, in 141 different countries. Some Windows Aero options are excluded along with several new features. Home Basic, along with other editions sold in emerging markets, include geographical activation restriction, which requires users to activate Windows within a certain region or country. Windows 7 Home Premium. This edition contains features aimed at the home market segment, such as Windows Media Center, Windows Aero and multi-touch support. Windows 7 Professional. This edition is targeted towards enthusiasts and small business users. It includes all the features of Windows 7 Home Premium, and adds the ability to participate in a Windows Server domain. Additional features include support for up to 192 GB of random access memory, operating as a remote desktop server, location-aware printing, backup to a network location, encrypting file system, presentation mode, software restriction policies and Windows XP mode. Windows 7 Enterprise. This edition targets the enterprise segment of the market and is sold through volume licensing to companies which have a software assurance contract with Microsoft. Additional features include support for multilingual user interface packages, BitLocker drive encryption, and Unix application support. Not available through retail or OEM channels, this edition is distributed through Microsoft's software assurance. As a result, it includes several SA-only benefits, including a license allowing the operating of diskless nodes and activation via VLK. Windows 7 Ultimate. Windows 7 Ultimate contains the same features as Windows 7 Enterprise, but unlike the Enterprise Edition, it is available to home users on an individual license basis. Windows 7 Home Premium and Windows 7 Professional users are able to upgrade to Windows 7 Ultimate for a fee using Windows Anytime Upgrade if they wish to do so. Unlike Windows Vista Ultimate, the Windows 7 Ultimate Edition does not include the Windows Ultimate Extras feature or any exclusive features as Microsoft had stated. All editions will receive mainstream support until January 2015 and extended support until January 2020. Special Purpose Editions. The main editions also can take the form of one of the following special editions: N and KN editions. The features in the N and KN editions are the same as their equivalent full versions, but do not include Windows Media Player or other Windows Media-related technologies, such as Windows Media Center and Windows DVD Maker. The cost of the N and KN editions are the same as the full versions, as the Media Feature Pack for Windows 7 N or Windows 7 KN can be downloaded without charge from Microsoft. VL Builds. VL Builds work with VLKs. volume license keys can be used to activate multiple installations of the software without any mechanism checking the total number of installations. The license for the software will place restrictions on the use of the key. Typically, the license will limit the key to a fixed number of installations which must only be within the licensee's organization, and also place the licensee under an obligation to keep a record of the number of installations, keep the key confidential, and possibly even require that the licensee organization makes itself available for a software licensing audit to verify that its use of the key is within the terms of the license. Upgrade editions. In-place upgrade from Windows Vista with Service Pack 1 to Windows 7 with is supported if the processor architecture and the language are the same and their editions match. In-place upgrade is not supported for earlier versions of Windows. Moving to Windows 7 on these machines requires a clean installation, that is, removal of the old operating system, installing Windows 7 and reinstalling all previously installed programs. Windows Easy Transfer can assist in this process. Microsoft made upgrade SKUs of Windows 7 for select editions of Windows XP and Windows Vista. The difference between these SKUs and full SKUs of Windows 7 is their lower price and proof of license ownership of a qualifying previous version of Windows. Same restrictions on in-place upgrading applies to these SKUs as well. In addition, Windows 7 is available as a Family Pack Upgrade Edition in certain markets, to upgrade to Windows 7 Home Premium only. It gives licenses to upgrade 3 machines from Vista or Windows XP to the Windows 7 Home Premium Edition. These are not full versions, so each machine to be upgraded must have one of these qualifying previous versions of Windows for them to work. In the United States, this offer expired in early December 2009. In October 2010, to commemorate the anniversary of Windows 7, Microsoft once again made Windows 7 Home Premium Family Pack available for a limited time, while supplies lasted. Upgrade compatibility. There are 2 possible ways to upgrade to Windows 7 from an earlier version of Windows: an in-place install, where settings and programs are preserved from an older version of Windows. This option is only sometimes available, depending on the editions of Windows being used, and is not available at all unless upgrading from Windows Vista. A clean install, where all settings including but not limited to user accounts, applications, user settings, music, photos, and programs are erased entirely and the current operating system is erased and replaced with Windows 7. This option is always available and is required for versions earlier and up to Windows XP. The table below lists which upgrade paths allow for an in-place install. Note that in-place upgrades can only be performed when the previous version of Windows is of the same architecture. If upgrading from a 32-bit installation to a 64-bit installation or downgrading from 64-bit installation to 32-bit installation, a clean install is mandatory regardless of the editions being used. Anytime upgrade editions. Windows 7 also supports in-place upgrades from a lower edition of Windows 7 to a higher one using the Windows Anytime Upgrade tool. There are currently 3 retail options available. Currently, there are no plans for Family Pack versions of the Anytime Upgrade editions. It is possible to use a product key from a standard upgrade edition to accomplish an in-place upgrade. Starter to Home Premium, Starter to Professional 1, Starter to Ultimate 1. Home Premium to Professional, Home Premium to Ultimate, Professional to Ultimate 1 available in retail, and at the Microsoft Store. Derivatives, Windows 10 PC. On February 9, 2011, Microsoft announced Windows 10 PC, a branded derivative of Windows Embedded Standard 7 with Service Pack 1, designed as a lightweight version of Windows 7 for installation on low-performance PCs as an alternative to using a dedicated thin client device. It succeeded Windows Fundamentals for legacy PCs, which was based on Windows XP Embedded. Windows 10 PC was released on June 6, 2011. Windows 10 PC is supported until October 12, 2021. Embedded versions. Windows 7 is also currently available as a form of Windows Embedded to developers, named as Windows 7 Embedded Standard. Windows Embedded Standard 7 is supported until October 13, 2020. Comparison chart. See also, Windows XP editions, Windows Vista editions, Windows 8 editions, notes. References. Further reading